Hello everyone. Two group of people interested in the subject of this video. One of them, immigrants planning to relocate in Turkey. On the other hand, the entrepreneurs who are planning company registration in Turkey. Therefore, in this video we will answer the questions on work permit in Turkey from those two perspectives. Do I need to have a work permit in Turkey? If you are planning to work in Turkey, you will need work permit in Turkey. Additionally, if you are the director of your own company in Turkey, such requirement still exists. However, for some professions such as lawyers, your work permit will not be sufficient, since some professions are only allocated to Turkish citizens. Therefore, even though you have a work permit in Turkey, you cannot perform such professions. Professions and duties limited to Turkish citizens by laws and prohibited to work by foreigners. Dentistry nursing. Pharmacy. Veterinary medicine. Responsible director in private hospitals. Attorneyship. Notary public. Private security officer. Exporting fish, oysters, mussels, sponges, pearls, corals, diving, foraging, piloting, captaining, engineering, clerk, crew, etc. within the territorial waters. Customs consultancy. Tourist guiding. I have residence permit in Turkey. Is it sufficient to work in Turkey? Work permit and residence permit are very different status. As we previously discussed, residence permit in Turkey only allow you to legitimately stay in Turkey. However, on the other hand, work permit in Turkey allows you to legally work in Turkey. Moreover, the administrative institutions dealing with both permits are different. Work permit in Turkey is administered by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. On the other hand, the residence permit in Turkey is under the administration of Interior Affairs Ministry. The criteria of Ministry of Labor and Social Security is quite crucial during the process. Thus, please review such criteria and make sure that your application is in compliance with those criteria. Evaluation criteria that applicant workplaces and foreigners have to meet regarding work permit in Turkey. Requests of foreigners. In the workplace for which a work permit in Turkey is requested, at least 5 TC employment of citizens is mandatory. If the foreigner requesting a permit is a company partner, the employment requirement for 5 persons is sought for the last 6 months of the 1-year work permit to be given by the ministry. If a work permit is requested for more than 1 foreigner at the same workplace, 5 Turkish citizen employment will be sought for each foreigner. The paid-in capital of the workplace must be at least 100,000 Turkish liras, or its gross sales must be at least 800,000 Turkish liras, or the last year's export amount must be at least $250,000. The foreign partner of the company requesting permission must have at least 20% of the capital, which shall not less than 40,000 Turkish liras. The amount of monthly wage declared to be paid to the foreigner by the employer must be at a level compatible with the foreigner's duty and competence. Accordingly, taking into account the minimum wage in force as of the date of application, the minimum wage to be paid to the foreigner. 6.5 times the minimum wage for senior managers and pilots. 4 times the minimum wage for unit or branch managers, engineers and architects. 3 times the minimum wage for teachers and those who will work in jobs that require expertise and mastery. At least the minimum wage for foreigners to be employed in domestic services. Foreigners who will work in tourism animation organization companies with acrobats and similar titles, and foreigners who will work in jobs such as masseurs, masseuses and SPA therapists must be twice the minimum wage. For other specific types of works, please reach us for the information. Foreigners that will not be subject to the criteria in application. The foreigners who are not subject to the work permit evaluation criteria in accordance with the provisions of the implementing regulation of the law on work permits of foreigners are: foreigners whose mother, father or child are Turkish citizens. Foreigners living in marriage union with a Turkish citizen for at least 3 years. Foreigners who are citizens of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Foreigners who have been granted a residence permit within the framework of Turkish and related communities practices. Foreigners who have been granted a residence permit within the framework of humanitarian considerations. Foreigners who have been granted a residence permit as victims of human trafficking. Foreigners who have been granted a stateless residence permit. In this video we tried to cover the basic aspects of the work permit in Turkey. However, such concept is quite complex, and the consequences are quite crucial. Therefore, if you are looking some information either by yourself or for your company, please reach us for more information. You can always reach us through WhatsApp or email.